passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Ewan in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
Hello everybody and welcome to the SR4S Super Formula Series, back for another season towards the end of 2024, and no better place to start than here at Suzuka. Our 8-round calendar takes us right the way to the start of November, and in consecutive weeks over the course of the next couple of months or so, we'll be racing every single Sunday night or Monday morning, depending on where you are in the world, here in the Super Formula cars. And myself, Ewan and Jez Parfitt, along with you for the opening round. And there is no better place to start here, James, than at Suzuka. It is where so many moments of the Super Formula series have been or taken part in. It is one of those iconic circuits for the Super Formula series, and it is, I think, a track that suits this car very well. We're looking forward to what I think is going to be, let me just check, 25 laps here over the course of roughly an hour of racing to get our new season underway.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. There's some great tracks on the calendar, and you know, you're looking at Road America, you're looking at Spa, you're looking at Silverstone, Sebring. You know, we've got a break between 5 and 6 for, I believe it's Canadian Independence Day. You're finishing off 6 at Coda, Mazzano, Interlagos. You know, let's be real, I love Interlagos. But with Suzuka, you've got a track that's just stooped in history. I think that's the thing with this circuit. You know, center and cross moments. You've got everything that you could possibly wish for at a circuit that these cars really suit. And that's the thing. They've got to be circuits, haven't they? You know, the likes of Coda, the likes of things. You couldn't put these at Brands Hatch. I think that's what I mean. Like, you know, you'd have to run at Silverstone if you wanted a UK circuit.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we've got at the end of September. By the way, it's Canadian Thanksgiving, not
that's
Independence Day.
sorry.
That's in July. But we're Canadian Thanksgiving, so we'll have a week off for that. Yeah, not quite 8 consecutive weeks. I was slightly lying to you. Sorry about that. It's mostly consecutive weeks with that 1 week off in the middle of October between the only 2 consecutive American rounds in this series at Sebring and Circuit of the Americas. We're in qualifying at the moment. 10 minutes for them to get their times on the board, and by the way, 20 drivers who will be making their way around there right now. They are not all out there together, of course. It is an individual qualifying session, and that should help everybody get a lap in at least. This is a very funky livery, isn't it? We're currently following Greg Doucette in what I can only describe as a multicoloured car. I wouldn't even like to start with what colour is predominant, but it's a fantastic livery. He's making his way out of Spoon Curve at the moment towards the end of the lap to start a new one, but that's what we're going to have for the next 10 minutes or so. And I have a feeling qualifying is going to be relatively important. I mean, it's not going to be impossible to overtake around here at Suzuka, especially with all of the A's that you get in Super Formula cars, and these cars are raceable as well. They are quite good at racing wheel to wheel, but you will want to be starting at the front, and if you can minimise the amount of overtaking, then that's a good start.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I think this is the thing with these cars. The only thing you can't do is obviously you can bang tyres and maybe 50% chance that you'll get away with it. There's also probably a 50% chance you might not get away with it if you start banging tires. But I think in general, these cars, you know, they can't really take the rough and tumble of some of the circuits and of some contacts, so they're going to have to be a little bit careful. This run down the backstretch down into the Casio Triangle is going to be vital. There's going to be lots of overtakes being done there. Now, one of the things I am looking forward to as well is the Carson Keane-Jeff Groff battle. And I think that's going to be very exciting this year. They are probably two of the standout drivers. However, while I'm here, going to give a shout out to this man here, Mr. Brian Long, who's been organising this season and organising this series for the last, this is his 5th season now, so he started. He has been probably one of the hardest league owners I've ever seen. He has worked so hard to try and bring this series together, and he's done an absolute outstanding job. So I think, you know, hats off to Brian. He's worked his absolute butt off. I know there was doubts whether or not he was going to go ahead with this season, but he's picked it up, he's gone with it, and they've got just desserts with 20 drivers on the grid. It's been absolutely exceptional, and he's done an amazing job.
Yeah, and unless I'm mistaken, I think there's just 21st that's joined the session, but there we go. It's a fantastic job and a great lineup we've got for our opening round of the season. First times are coming in, and Carson Keane is the current best, although that's just I say that briefly displaced by Jeff Groff, who does the first 1 minute 36 of the day, and Brian himself goes up to 3rd place. In terms of, by the way, the recent form and the most recent champion of the Super Formula Championship. Season 4 was back earlier this year in 2024, and Jeff Groff was the champion back then as well. 46, I'm just doing the maths on the fly, 46 points in favour of Christian Jasper, who was in second place, so relatively comfortable. That's just over a race win, by the way, which is 30 points, or was last season in season 4. So that just gives you an idea of how the championship stacked up. And he's got to be the favourite again, I think. Jeff Groff was top in practice as well, top last season in terms of the points, and he's top at the moment in this qualifying session, the only driver in the 136s.
Yeah, he's done an incredible job last season as well, and I think it's going to be between Jeff and Carson. Chris Sears might get himself involved in this one. So I think there's going to be a lot, but it's really hard to explain these cars because they're not quite Super Formula, but they're not quite W13. But they've got the push to pass ability as well, which they get 200 seconds of that you can use. So there's an element of W13, but obviously there's a massive speed difference between the Super Formula lights, and these aren't easy to drive. I've had a go, and I'll say that in a very loose manner, right, of having a go, because I don't believe I actually completed half a lap without my back end going round and round faster than a ballerina in Swan Lake, to be blatantly honest with you. So these cars are very tough, and any one of these 20, well, you're right, there is 21 drivers now, finish this race, they deserve a clap on the back anyway, because let's face it, with these cars, anything can happen.
Yeah, very much so. There is Jeff Groff again, making his way through Dunlop curve, that is, right at the end of the S's. A real challenge, uphill, left-hander. Try and make sure you don't run too wide through there. You can find yourself very far wide in the gravel if you're not careful through there. On board we go in towards the hairpin as well, and now the very high speed section of Suzuka, which people often forget about. You always remember the twists and turns, especially at the start of the lap, but towards the end of the lap you've got to remember it's a very high speed circuit, and this is where you can use your push to pass and use the slipstream as well of drivers around you. Looks like he's got a very rectangular head when we're on board with him here.
That's the top of the above no, that's above the pod. That's where the push to pass light is, just underneath that pod. That's more of a traditional, conventional gyro cam, and obviously that's in the cockpit. But that one is just literally above the pod that is on the car.
It just made me giggle for a second there.
Entertaining yourself, Mr. O'Leary, again, I see.
Yeah, I am a little bit.
That red pod, there you go. That's where you are.
Yeah, you've got to do these things. So over the line he goes again, and he briefly dropped to third place as Gabriel Hopp and Carson Keane and Pablo Valenzuela actually all got ahead of him at one stage, but he's gone back to the top again now with a 35.8. And what's been noticeable about this qualifying session so far, 7.5 minutes in, it's generally been getting quicker and quicker and quicker as we've gone along. The more laps that these guys do, the more time they seem to be finding, which is not always the case in qualifying sessions. I mean, Groff was the only one in the 36s at one time. There's now 6 drivers in the 36s, and we've even got 1 in the 35s. So the session will keep improving by the looks of things. And so Groff leading at the moment is not a sure thing that he will actually take pole position.
No, definitely not. And Carson Keane's on a bit of a flyer as well. He's got 3 greens on the board, 2 oranges, but it depends on what the offset is, of course, for Carson. And he's in that speed bracket of Jeff Groff. You know what I mean? Let's be real about it. They're both round about probably an average of about 2.5k between them in iRating, and they're not slouches in incredibly fast cars. Again, purple for Carson Keane puts himself in second, 136.176. And Carson Keane there doing an absolutely stellar job. But at the same time, we've got Jeff going even quicker as he comes over the line, 135.878. And then Gabriel Hopp has also gone quicker as well on a 136.061. So these battles are starting to materialize here, and it's going to be very, very interesting. You can see we don't break the second mark until about 8th place. So that's going to make it even more interesting.
Yeah, these times are very, very quick as well. Top 6 covered by half a second. It's a good opening session to the season, that's for sure. It's the SR4S Super Formula Series for Season 5. This is the opening round here at Suzuka, and in the next 9 weeks, all the way to Interlagos, where all championship finales should be held, and we'll be holding ours here as well. Yeah, well, we agree on that. Yeah, I know not everyone does, but that's our opinion. So. So we're pleased. That will be coming at the start of November. From here till now, it's going to be a very interesting season, and based on this qualifying session, a very close season as well. Pablo Valenzuela makes his way through Spoon Curve now as well. Not a great middle part to this lap, I'm afraid, after a good opening sector for Valenzuela. Let's see what he can do through the penultimate sector now as he makes his way up towards the 130R corner. It is purple through that penultimate sector, and he is still pushing on here. You know that if you were down at this stage in the lap, you would be less incentivised to carry on, actually. But Valenzuela is deciding to go on. Will he complete the lap? He certainly does. That generally means he'll do something, but actually, no, he's going to run out of time. There, I wasn't quite expecting that. Thought you'd get there in time, but not quite. The 10 minutes runs out. And that's the end of your qualifying session. It's Jeff Groff who takes pole, and the first of the season here at Suzuka ahead of Gabriel Hopp. Carson Keane and Pablo Valenzuela round out the top 4, making it 4 different nationalities in the top 4, which is quite rare. Frankie Brzezowski and Lucas Moody rounding out an All-American Road 3 ahead of Chris Sears and Joshua Benjamin. Nicholas Karangas and Zachary Lindler round out the top 10. Brian Long and Victor Chamorro are just outside of the top 10, with row 7 made up Christian Jasper and Anthony Zek. That is quite far down for Jasper, who's down in 13th after finishing second last season. William Love and Greg Doucette on the 8th row ahead of Bronson Stafford and Matt Dinsmore. Bryce Benton finished in 19th ahead of Samuel Marr, who joined very late on, didn't do any practice, and got a lap in there in qualifying, but finished 20th ahead of Matthew Rodriguez, who is in the back of the field. So there you can see through the mist the 21 drivers ready to go racing for the 25 laps in the opening round of this Super Formula Championship. I think they're all just about on the grid now, waiting for the laps to go on. We're just waiting for Victor tomorrow, and he does now ready up as well. So 25 laps ahead of us in the opening round of the SR4S Super Formula Championship here from Suzuka. The lights come on, and it's reigning champion Jeff Groff starting his season from the front. We're underway for a new season of Super Formula racing. Standing start, of course, and Jeff Groff knows how to deal with it best. Brzezowski from the 3rd row jumps straight forward as well, as Gabriel Hopp moves backwards into 3rd place. Keane goes back to 4th, and I'm afraid Pablo Valenzuela down to 8th place. Not a great start from him as they go through the S's for the first time in a new season.
Yeah, Jeff did what he had to do. He got an absolute incredible run off that line down into turn 1, and he's done an amazing job. He's going up through Dunlop now, coming into the first of the Degners. He'll take this right-hander incredibly quick, open up the steering just a little bit, and then he'll dip in and look for the dip on the inside with a little bit of curb on the exit. He's done what he needed to do, and he set its markers down straight away. I think for Brzezowski in second, he's had the start of the race so far. He's up 3 places. Done an absolutely incredible job. For Carson Keane, though, not so good. He's down 1 at the moment and is chasing the back of Gabriel Hopp.
Well, he's got away with it better than Pablo Valenzuela, I'm afraid, who's dropped 4 places, and that's the biggest drop so far, other than Greg Doucette, I'm afraid, who's dropped right to the very back of the field, although he's trying to make up places again as he passes Matthew Rodriguez on the way towards the Spoon Curve. I'm afraid that Zachary Lindler also has gone off, I think, at Spoon, as of Bryce Benton maybe. They're both dropping down the field to the back of the field, and Lindler actually back to the pit lane entirely. This is Spoon Curve. He's very close to the driver ahead of him as he tries to get the power down, just getting it wrong and into the wall. That's the first big crash of the season, and it's come before the end of lap 1.
Oh, there in the background, that was Bryce Benton as well. Yep. So, yeah, an incredible crash that was. That was just, yeah, a lot for these guys to deal with. But yeah, apart from that, saying that, Long's just been off the side of the circuit as well as Mr. Brian Long. But he's dropped all the way down into 13th at the moment. So Brian's going to have to try and work his way back through here. But yeah, great start for others in and around them, but not a great start for some of them at the back there.
Oh, and Love off the road. Oh, big crash at the top of Dunlop curve. Let's have another look. William Love is one of them who's dropped down. He's already sliding here. He's got someone right behind him. Giving him a bit of a chuck up the nose. Oh dear.
It's Karanjas. Is it Karanjas?
Right,
yeah, Karanjas. Unfortunately, had to jump back to the pit lane there as well. So maybe some little first round jitters from some of these?
I don't know. It did seem a little bit careless. Well, I say careless from Karanjas. There was sliding in front of him from William Love, which kind of helped. Of course, when you're sliding around like that through the S's, it will slow you down and difficult to account for. But it does seem a little bit odd. A few drivers already back down to pit lane, unfortunately, after the opening lap, or opening a couple of laps anyway. Lindler back out onto the circuit again, which is a good thing, of course, but unfortunately, that's still going to be a big issue in terms of finishing well in this season. Look at the flashing lights in the background there, especially Brzezowski, who's trying to catch up to Groff. It's been a very good start for the pole sitter. He's got a second and a half at the end of the opening 2 laps of this race. Even with the flashing green above the heads of those behind, he's not being caught, and he's in control of this race early on. Yeah,
he is. He's absolutely flying, isn't he? Let's be real. There's a back marker in front of him as well. That's 19th place Akku Linda. Looks like Matt Dinsmore has also just gone round. Unfortunately for Matt, I can guarantee what he's done here. He has come round, and that back end's going to come round down into turn 1. Sorry, a little bit late. There we go. And unfortunately, he's tried to drift it round turn 1, which he didn't manage quite as successfully. But this little battle, Carson Keane, Gabriel Hopp, Bruskowski, and also Lucas Moody is hotting up as well. And I think this is going to be that'd be a very interesting battle. We've got Filippo Salvino. Hi guys, I'm sorry guys for not running today. I had a public exam to work today, and I arrived home feeling tired. Maybe next time I'll be with you. All right, mate. No worries at all. It's good to have you in YouTube chat. Thanks so much for joining us. But this should be a very interesting battle with these 4 drivers from second right the way down to 5th. And yeah, they're going to be having a right little ding-dong, I expect, anytime soon.
Good to know in some ways that we're at 21, but not full capacity quite in this opening round. So hopefully we'll see him at the other rounds this season. Just saw, Matt Dims. No, he's just off the road briefly, so it's okay. New fastest lap of the race, Brzezowski. They're in second position. It's the time, 37.3 from him, and the gap comes down to 1.4 as he takes a couple of tenths of a second out of Jeff Groff and tries to stretch out the margin to Gabriel Hopp. Then we've got Carson Keane, then Lucas Moody, who we're following on with here in what I've got to say is very misty conditions. Yeah, I'm not sure what the temperature is, but it looks very cold. And it doesn't like you can see very far either around. At 79 Fahrenheit as Lindler goes off the road in front of these guys again. At 79 Fahrenheit, it's about 20, in the mid-teens, is it, in Celsius, I think? Somewhere around there. Maybe a bit more. But maybe low 20s. But it's not very warm to give you the long and short of it, and that will help the tyres for sure.
I'll tell you what will not help Lucas Moody's tyres as he keeps coming in that hot on the rear end of Carson Keane here, because now he's lost a little bit of time there. Looking over the front right hand tyre, you can see he's just dropped back. Now he's pulling in Keane again, so we'll see if this one materialises down through the backstretch before they come into 130R. Another interesting fight that's going to develop will be this Moody battle, but I'm hoping is Venezuela and Joshua Benjamin will end up coming back together as well, and we'll see how they get on. They've been flirting around each other, so this could be quite a good one. You can see Moody here has lost out. Well, he was faster than Keane on lap 3, but lost out on 1 and 2. So we'll pick it up here and see what he is on lap 4 as they go zigzagging across. The push to pass is activated on the roof there of Carson Keane as he charges up to the back end of Gabriel Hopp.
It's all one long line here. Top 5 all in one queue at the start of lap 5. Brzezowski has sort of connected these 2 trains, if you like, because he's got to Jeff Groff at the front of the race here. There's the view on board. You can see the 3 ahead of Carson Keane here. That is your podium as things stand as we approach the 1/5 mark through this race. Still very early on in the opening round of the Super Formula Championship season. Through the 2 Degners, avoiding the curves because these guys don't enjoy that too much. Now out of Degner 2, under the bridge and towards the hairpin. try and get straightened up in time for the braking zone. Otherwise you'll be skating around all over the place, and then very important exit to make, as it will mean your run is a strong one on the way towards Spoon Curve, where you don't have to do a lot of braking here. Down a couple of gears, not even a couple, just one into 5th gear for the first part, then 4th for the second, and then another important corner as you try and get the run, but as Keane shows there, dancing on a knife's edge as you're trying to get the power down. Bit of opposite lock from him. There's Lucas Moody just behind, half a second. We're very close here. It doesn't look like Benjamin or Valenzuela are quite getting involved in this train just yet, but this is a very close opening race to the season. I've got to say, very encouraging for the rest of the season that it is so close. Here at the end of 5 laps of 25, Jeff Groff is leading, but by a small margin. Look at him weaving to try and break that slipstream.
I think he has to. That's the problem. The draft is so strong in these cars that he needs to do that as they're coming up through the S's. And I think at the end of the day, he needs to be able to do that, because he's got to try and break them up. And because they are closing in on him. That's the thing with Jeff. They are getting closer and closer. And it's just one of them things. You see Bruskowski there was quicker on 3 and 4. In fact, he was 7/10 on 4. So he is closing in on him. So this could be a very fascinating battle. And I'll be interested to see how this one develops, I think.
Yeah, just within early here, by the way. Was that just for a drive-through penalty? What went on there for Christian Jasper? Just 7 seconds in the box. That's the first stop we've seen for a couple of laps, but that means that only 13 of the 21 haven't been in the pit lane yet. So a third of the pit stop already having been into pit lane. Not scheduled pit stops as far as the rulebook says, because as the rulebook says, rain is coming one day. Today is not that day, unfortunately, and this season is not that season, which surprises me that iRacing have not made it a priority to give rain to these cars, but here we are. We don't have any rain yet.
No, not yet. Super Formula Light's got rain, but yeah, we haven't got it here. So, you know, look, I'm sure that's a different entity altogether. As you can see, Bruskowski having to weave as well. Gabriel Hott behind him. Carson Keen's dropped back just a little bit with Lucas Moody there. Then we've got this Benjamin Venezuelan battle. They've swapped places, actually. They were following each other here. Oh, this is going to be too deep for Benjamin. And Valenzuela just said, thank you very much. I'll have some of that. And has taken that position away. He's now set his sights on closing up to the back of Lucas Moody. It was 1.8 when I started speaking. He's now 1.6, so he's pulled 2 tenths already.
Well, we know he's quick, that's the thing, but just didn't make a very good start at all. And actually, it's one of the advantages of having a standing start as well, isn't it? The unpredictability you've got with a standing start, I think, is a really great thing. And more serious to use it, to be honest, but it's a Super Formula series, so it does make sense. Jeff Groff clearly knows how to get one of these cars off the line, because he was absolutely flying immediately. Brzezowski also, he qualified in 5th on row 3 and was immediately into 2nd position, overtaking Hopp and Keane, who made similar starts. And yeah, you can really gain a lot and lose a lot by having a good or bad start in one of these cars, and that's exactly what you get from a standing start. As I say, it's a good idea for more series, but then again, not many cars in iRacing generally do standing starts by standard, as Lucas Moody gets very close now to Carson Keane. This is a battle for 4th place that is the closest on the circuit.
Yeah, it definitely is. Sorry about that. I got a little bit excited there. I saw Lucas Moody rushing up to the back end of Carson Keane, thinking, is he going to stop here? You can see Carson's using the old push to pass. Lucas not yet. So we'll see what goes on here. But I think this battle is there's still a lot more involved with this battle. I think these 4 cars in and around each other, Bruskowski, Hopp, Keane and Moody, I think there's still more to come, but it's how and when is it going to come, because where are we, 25, we've only got 13 laps to go already, so it's very fast, thick and fast paced action here. And for Moody, he really wants to start trying to look at kind of getting as close as he can to Carson, because he doesn't want to lose that time on Bruskowski now as they're going up through the hairpin.
You just say 13 laps to go. Want to have another go?
17 laps.
17.
That's what I said. What did I say?
I thought you said 13. Maybe you did.
No, I think I might have said 13, but give me a break. It's 25 past 1 in the morning.
I don't. Well, same for me.
Well, yeah, exactly. But maybe I'm old. You're young.
Anyway,
that's all that matters.
Well, 17 to go at the end of this one. No matter what we said before, whatever it was. 17 to go at the end of this one. There's the flashing light from Moody again. Things up below half a second, and that's the only gap to do so here. In towards the chicane. He's got a little bit wide as well, Carson Keane. You always want to avoid the curves, of course, at the Cassia Triangle, but you don't want to avoid the apex entirely. And Keane now is going to be in a little bit of trouble. We'll get the slipstream from Hop just up ahead, but if Moody wants to use the push to pass here, then he could work his way through. You can see the flashing light, but it's not quite enough. And he's going to have to stay behind again. It just shows that Suzuka's not the easiest circuit to pass on in the world, and even a mistake like that doesn't mean that you will get through for sure.
It definitely doesn't, but it does mean that he's brought him in, giving him that sniff, that bite of the cherry. It's now down for Moody to go and take the whole thing if he wants to. You can see him pressurising Keane, one after lap after lap after corner here. Gaps down to 3/10. Oh, he lost a little bit going into the first part of the Degner and into the second part. He's now got to try and get that back again. So look at the person we did say as well, Pablo Valenzuela, who's also closed up behind him incredibly quick. This is going to be literally a 5-car fight for that podium.
We've had a couple of offs in the last minute, I'm afraid. Matthew Rodriguez and Joshua Benjamin are both back down to pit lane again, I'm afraid, after incidents. This is what happened to Matthew Rodriguez, which happened a little bit longer ago. He's already been in pit lane for over a minute, and there's it.
So many times.
Yeah, and as we saw in YouTube chat from Felipe Salvino, said car is hard to control, and that is certainly true. Here's Joshua Benjamin just getting the power on after the Degners and straight into the wall. The right-hand side of that car completely disintegrates. Look at how tricky that was. He just sort of rode along that curb like a skateboard at the very end of Degner 2. And I'm afraid he's taken the right side wheels off as meanwhile we go back to live pictures. Pablo Valenzuela is going through on Lucas Moody. So from Moody going and challenging Carson Keane for 4th place, he's now back another position. But given the fact he wasn't using any push to pass there, I get the feeling he wasn't massively displeased with losing that position there. He was sort of letting that happen, really.
Yeah, and it looks like William Love's back into the pit lane there as well. Sam Katkazinos, welcome in, buddy. I'm not quite sure what you typed, but whatever it was, welcome. Hope you're... Oh, same thing.
And again.
Yeah, outside curb, a spoon, hits the curb, spins the tyres up, bang, game over. See you later, adios. You know what I mean? It's almost turn 4 of the Hungaroring. You know, with the drain on the outside. If you hit that, you spin every single time without fail. Spoon's exactly the same. You hit that outside curb, you're going round.
Yeah, it just depends how you get onto the curb and get off of it, I suppose. If you're getting on the power, you're all up over that curb, then you'll be in trouble. You see there for Valenzuela, just 2 wheels on the curb, which we can get away with, but you don't want to be getting any further across than that, otherwise you'll be skating along the circuit and in trouble, just as we've seen a few drivers do so far. Here's Valenzuela looking again on the way towards the Cassia Triangle, and this, by the way, is only to get back to where he started from. So he'll be ruining that start a little bit now, because he has made excellent progress since the race actually got underway as they pass a lapped car here.
Got to go.
Unfortunately, it's taken him 11 laps to get here. Here we go. Is he quite close enough? Oh, it's not quite a big enough braking zone in towards turn number 1 and 2. And so we'll have to stay behind him.
He's made a mistake.
No, it won't. King goes wide, and Valenzuela does not need a second invitation to go through into 4th place.
No, one mistake going through turn 1 for Carson Keane. Game over on that one. It was done and dusted there as well. Fastest average KPH equals Jeff Groff. Fastest average WPM equals, well, me. What's WPM?
Woes per minute? I don't know. That'll definitely be us. I don't know. Will that be? But no, we'll be enlightened later, hopefully.
I'm sure Sam will tell us.
Heck, that was close. But for Moody, late on the brakes at the hairpin there. He went straight into the back of Carson Keane, but he's okay. Still in 5th place, and there is the leader again, being caught again by Frankie Brzezowski for a hop 3rd, and then Pablo Valenzuela another couple of seconds behind. We're approaching the halfway mark in this race. It's a very quick race, I've got to say, being taken on at a frightening pace, and plenty of battles going on down the field as well. This one for 7th place. Chris Sears under pressure from Victor Chamorro, the only European in the field, as far as I can see. And he's gaining on the way towards this final chicane. Look at him. Oh, looking at the inside. He's been given the line as well from Sears, who was initially defending. Now Chamorro will have the inside for the exit, and they're going to be side by side running down the front straight.
Yeah, that was very, very close going in, but you can see now, oh, he's got given the line there. Has Chamorro. He got given the line by Sears, and that was the end of that. Oh, I thought they were going to be running... They look like they should have been running side by side on that one. Apparently, WPM stands for words per minute.
Oh.
Thanks, Sam.
Well, that's true.
Oi, knock it off.
Well,
You're not supposed to agree with
these
it.
guys won't be talking, will they? So, you know, we're definitely going words per minute.
I agree.
Leading the league, if you know. It'd probably be the only thing we are leading the league in, so we'll take it.
That's true.
No, I think Chamorro just got a better run, to be honest, off of the chicane there, and you know, it was less of Sears just giving him the line. I don't think he lifted off at all. I just don't think he got a good run compared to Chamorro, who looks to be quicker as well, based on this opening sector. I don't know if it's all the dirty air or whether that's playing a part, but he's gotten
steady.
3/4 of a second away already. Look at this, on board with Lucas Moody. He's getting close to Carson Keane.
Yeah, he just rode the curve on the outside of Spoon. I thought that was kind of game over. I want to have a look at Brzezowski and Hop were literally down into nothing, but now Moody has got to go for it. If he's going to go, he's got to go try and go around a long way. Carson Keane's not going to let you have that. He will run that deep in all day. You're not going to get through on Carson Keane. He ain't going to roll over, and he certainly won't let you tickle his belly. But now, if you're going to do it, Moody, you've got to do it down there as well. Carson moves once. Now it's all done. He's pushed Moody to the outside of turn 1. Is he going to be able to run that round? He's got to be brave. You've got to be brave. You've got to keep it in. Get up the inside for the snake, son. And he has managed to do it. Lucas Moody. Oh, take a bow, son. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was spectacular from Lucas Moody. Round the outside through turn 1 and 2. You do not see that very often. And Lucas Moody has made it look like he does it every day. That was fantastic. Up to 5th place now for him. And he'll focus his attentions further forward now. While that was happening, by the way, Gabriel Hop got past Frankie Brzezowski for 2nd place. Brzezowski now back to 3rd. So we'll have another look at that on replay as well. Is it going to be... basically a replay of what happened before. Oh, no. Right. Hop's been given the room a little bit more there from Brzezowski. Moody was certainly not given the room by Keane, but he certainly made it work. That was very good indeed.
Yeah, absolutely incredible there. And I think that was a great run from Moody around the outside. Carson's now got to try and come back at him. I think this is a bit of a culture shock for the likes of Carson Keane here, because he's generally, I would say, not had it his own way, but he's generally been able to win quite comfortably at times. Now the standards have improved, the drivers have got quicker, the different drivers coming in, the likes of Valenzuela, Brzezowski, who have all come into the series this season. And Carson's now going to have to up his game. He's, yay. Is he going to get that inside line? Moody's left the door open. I do wonder whether or not Moody just feels more comfortable around the outside. Yes, again. Maybe Moody's comfortable around the outside.
Yeah, maybe, but that would be very rare to see that.
Well, he
makes
close
his way
the door.
round there.
That's all I'm saying. He had a chance to opportunity to close the door, and he didn't.
Yeah, and in these cars, when they're high downforce like this, the outside is not the worst place to be at a corner like turn 1 and 2, but it is not the usual place you'd be either. So yeah, it is about where you're comfortable, and if you are happy on the outside, then go for it. And Moody certainly is. So stays in 5th place. Yeah, as you were saying, Carson Keane, 5th place in the standings last season, just under 100 points away from Jeff Groff, which is there were more rounds last season, by the way, than just the 8 at 10 races, as far as I can work out last season, with a drop round included, and we will have a drop round this season included as well, but just 8 rounds, so it may well be a closer season, and very important for all of these drivers to get off to a good start. Jeff Groff, as I say, was champion by some distance last season, by about a race win and a half, if you want to put it into points terms, but he's only 1.4 seconds ahead of this race, ahead of Gabriel Hopp, who is or was 4th in the most recent season of this championship. Pablo Valenzuela now making his way out of the final corner on the back of Frankie Brzezowski, and sets the fastest lap of the race with 11 to go. He's making a charge for this as one of the drivers makes their way out of pit lane after some repairs. They all fly past in towards turn number 1, and Valenzuela stays 4th, but this is not looking bad at all. He is looking strong for the moment, Valenzuela, and again, I've said it before, but he'll be ruining the fact that it's taken him so long to get to 4th place here. If he'd had a better start, he'd have been here from the start, and he could have really made some impression on this race lead.
Wondering if tyre wear's played an effect here and he didn't push as hard as he is now, because let's be real about it, he's closed a heck of a lot of time on people here, and you can see over Moody he's just been quicker all the way through. Now if we go the other way over Brzezowski, he's been quicker again on 12, 13, 14 fastest lap, 36.505. So I'm wondering whether or not there was a certain amount of tyre conservation there for Valenzuela, and he's now just decided, right, it's hammer time, I can go for it.
Yeah, it is, and I wonder whether it is playing effect. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. If it is going to be at any circuit, then it will be this one. It's a very twisty circuit compared to all the others we've got on the calendar. I don't feel like there will be one worse than this for tyre wear. As down the inside, Valenzuela goes for a 130R. I wasn't even expecting that. If I wasn't, then I guess Brzezowski wouldn't have been either, because that was a bit of a surprise, really. Valenzuela sprung that one on him in towards 130R, and through he goes into 3rd place. He has got some catching to do now, but he's got 10 laps to do it. He's got a podium place as things stand.
Yeah, he's done an absolutely stellar job, and I think Valenzuela now is whether or not he can get forward again, and whether or not he can go further up than that. I'm not going to put the realms of possibility that him even taking second or the win here, because he's not that dramatically far behind these guys. And if you look at sector times in vibe with Hopp in front, Hopp's quicker at the moment, but obviously he was in the middle of that battle there. So I'd be interested to see how the next lap goes when Valenzuela's really set back into his rhythm again.
Yeah, let's see. He's got, and there you go. 2 tenths of a second through sector 3. Not quite like normal sectors, of course, in iRacing. That's a 10-second sector. Well, that would be just the 2 Degners, I suppose, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. And he's gained a bit of time through there. You've got to remember as well that Hopp is in a bit of dirty air too, so that was surely not playing into his hands, but he will get the slipstream down these straights, and in these longer sections, or longer straighter sections, then he will get the advantage of that, whereas Valenzuela certainly won't. Just 6 tenths of a second between Jeff Groff and Gabriel Hopp now at the very front of the race. 9 to go at the end of this. This is going to be quite a grandstand finish, I think, here between these two. Groff has led the entire race so far. He's about to lead the 16th lap of this race, and he's led all of them so far, but Hopp all of a sudden is giving him some grief. And look at this, the flashing light above his head shows that he means business, and now he's moving to the outside line. We could have our first lead change of the race here as Gabriel Hopp goes round the outside, and he gets the lead into turn 1 and 2. A spectacular overtake as Gabriel Hopp makes it work, and he takes the lead here on lap 17.
Yeah, an incredible job, but look at Valenzuela. Look at Valenzuela behind him, 1.5, 1.4 at the moment. I don't think this is going to be quite done unless Hopp's decided I've got to go now as well, because he can't hang around with the 3rd place man coming through in the background. You just see the flash of red, and he's literally closing on these guys at a rapid rate of knots, is Valenzuela. We said let's wait until the next lap. We said let's see what he's doing. That over sectors 1, 2 and 3 is nearly 1.1 seconds of time that Valenzuela's pulled out.
Well, the shock of the dirty air for Groff will be holding him back, and so he will gain some of that back again. There you go, he gains 300ths of it back again on the way towards Spoon. He'll gain some more back on the way towards 130 on. If he gives it another go at overtaking Gabriel Hopp here, he might well pass and gain some more time that way as well. So let's not count our chickens before they've hatched in. Another half-tenth gain there, and look at Groff getting a lot closer here. Less than 4/10 of a second. And you've got to remember, he's not had that much pressure on him so far in this race, so he will have some seconds remaining to use here. Some of that extra power to use on the way down this straight, but it's not a very good exit off of the chicane here. He will, I can't even see if he's using it. I don't think he is. There's a brief flash of the lights there, but he's not going to get close enough anywhere near to have a go in towards turn 1. So stays behind for now, but this is about timing your run here. This is about getting close enough for a move and be close enough so that you can lead on lap 25. That's the most important thing. Oh, well and good. Gabriel Hopp leading right now and leading for the first time this race, but if he's not leading at the end of lap 25, then it will all be for nothing. So they've got to time it here, and Groffer's got a balancing act to make as well. He does need to be focusing on that end of the race, but he is being caught by Valenzuela again, as you say.
Yeah, he is. He's being closed in. This is the Moody-Brzezowski battle. This has been coming as well over the last couple of laps. Don't get me wrong, these 18 laps have absolutely flown by. Round the hairpin they go, and now carrying on once more through 200R, the right-hander leading down into Spoon, and Moody's trying and trying and trying to close and close. I believe both men have got some push to pass available to him here. Lucas has, and Brzezowski has as well, but that's a mistake, and Lucas should go for it.
Well, it doesn't matter how much energy or second, how many seconds you've got remaining. You make a mistake like that, it's going to be punished, and Frankie Brzezowski is down to 5th place. Very close back to Moody. I suppose he's having another go, but you make a mistake like that through Spoon, you are going to be punished for it. And look at this through the chicane. They get close again. This is the closest battle on the circuit for now, with Valenzuela still moving and closing in on Groff. He won't make any moves in towards turn 1, but Brzezowski might. Down the inside, no, not quite. Moody stays in 4th place and punishes the mistake. Was absolutely clinical there. And so 4th place now for Moody, as by the way, Carson Keane, who was in amongst these guys earlier, is now retired.
Oh yes, he's been off on lap 18.
I didn't see him go off at all, but he has been. Oh, it's the second Dagner, and this time it's the left-hand side walk. So we saw one earlier where they got caught up on the curve on the left-hand side and went straight across to the right-hand side of the circuit, but this is the opposite direction. He's tried to correct it. He goes straight into the wall on the left-hand side, and that's the end of his day. Just shows you here in these Super Formula cars that one small mistake will be punished, and it is not a forgiving car, that's for sure.
No, that looks such a weird incident, didn't it? You know, that's the thing. You're running over a curb, and he middled the curb. The curb was in the middle of the car, so you wonder how they snapped left and how the one earlier on snapped right, because there kind of shouldn't be any reason for it unless it's hit the underfloor, that's lifted the car sideways a little bit, and one side has got more grip than the other.
Yeah, it is weird, but there will be some sort of physics reason for it. I don't know what it is, but there will be a reason for it. It's one of the characteristics of these cars, I think, more than anything else. It's not a common characteristic of the circuit, but the cars actually themselves. Making me wonder a little bit where else they're going to have problems this season. Sebring could be tricky sometimes over some of the curves and the bumps, but that's always going to be the case in an open wheel type car. Maybe towards the latter end of the season we are going to see these kind of problems again, but I don't foresee it being a huge issue for the remainder of the season. Just think it's the way these cars interact with Suzuka and the way that sort of the floor lifts the wheels up off the road when you get too far up over the curve, especially at Dagner 2 and the exit of Spoon curve as well, which is the two main places we've seen problems so far. Here is Jeff Groff, and he's been caught by Pablo Valenzuela now. 2.5 seconds up to the leader. Gabriel Hopp may just be able to take the win from here, but Groff is by no means home in second place just yet. He's got to defend here for the last 5 laps.
Yeah, I think he's got to try, but it's like Bananas and Sushi.
Wide.
Yeah, he did there as well. Bananas and Sushi, I love that name in YouTube chat. That curb just lurks and waits for unsuspecting victims. He's clearly been there himself.
Yeah. Oh, Valenzuela down the inside, and there you go. There's a the pass for second place. The mistake at Spoon was punished, maybe not quite as quickly as Brzezowski's was a lap ago, although Brzezowski's made a mistake himself now. It's punished for Jeff Groff, and the pole sitter moves down to third position, and the reigning champion as well knows that he's got a fight on his hands now this season, as we see that Frankie Brzezowski dropping back to the pit lane. There clearly has been a big issue.
Yeah, he's gone off the side of the circuit as well here for poor old Frankie, and I'm wondering,
Whoa, that's a huge accident. Oh my goodness.
It's 130.
Yeah, 130R.
130R he's gone off.
The speed at which he will have gone in the wall was quite phenomenal. And he was just on the overtake there, and the extra power to the rear wheels has just sent him around, especially late on in these tyres. That's a heavy, heavy impact with the wall. Goodness me. There you can see it. He's got the overtake on, and the extra power through the rear wheels just sends him around. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
wow.
That would have been, if that was anything related to IRL, that would have been incredibly painful there. So, thank everybody. Thank God it's actually literally just in sin, because that would have been incredible hurt. Mackenzie Roon in YouTube chat here, just checking in, saying hi to all on the podium battle. And Sam Cagasinos, the Super Formula Tuna Can is that one. He said. There you go. After watching that incident.
I bet Mackenzie would be all right in one of these, do you think? Yeah.
I reckon he'd be all right as well.
Formula Light, just take the step forward and step up later in the evening.
Yeah, he's got to put on the big boy pants, hasn't he? And just decide to go into it, I think, for poor old Mackenzie. He's got to get him on, you know. Pull him up, Mackenzie. Tuck him in and just get him going. So there we go. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, well, I hope so, but I don't know. Given he's watching now, maybe he's just sussing out from by watching whether he should join or not. I don't know, but he should.
I reckon he should as well.
I think he'd, all right. Yeah, of course, he'll be back on JPB YouTube channel next Sunday if he's racing. Sunday, 1 week away from the new season in iRacing, of course, and all of the regular seasons on the JPB YouTube channel will be returning again after their week off. All of the 12-week championship seasons, anyway, that generally run by the iRacing calendar. So you'll see him there, along with all of the 50-odd others, which we sometimes get in the championship. But yeah, this is the big car, if you like, the Super Formula itself. I think actually the fastest car in iRacing that's realistically raceable, because the F1 cars, even these days, but even back the F1 car we had in 2016 or so, 2015 or so, was a bit fast to be properly raceable, to be honest with you. This car, though, it's open wheel, it is very fast, but it is also raceable, as we've seen today. You can get some fantastic racing with it, and we've actually got a very close race situation too, which is always helpful. The top four currently covered by less than 7 seconds after 22 laps of racing, and it's showing again why it's a very raceable car, and a very good series to be a part of. Very competitive, and we're just 3 laps away from the end of the opening round of what looks like it's going to be a very good 8-race season based on this opener that we've seen.
You know, the interesting thing as well, and I 100% agree with you, but it's nothing that this series hasn't deserved, the amount of longevity and effort that's gone into it. I think there's always somebody around you to be racing with. I think that's the thing here at the moment, is there's always somebody in and around them to have a nice little race with. Obviously, a couple of people have made some incidents, and it looks like Lucas Moody has been the latest victim. He still sat in 4th, mind you. I can guarantee that back end's coming round on that turn 1. There we go, round he goes, drifted it round, and unfortunately that's not how that car drives.
Well, he's seen that it's easy to do. Spin around at turn number 1, and just as I was saying, there was 4 drivers within 7 seconds of the lead. Well, it's gone out the window very quickly, I'm afraid, as Moody went around. So he's now in a battle hit to hang on to 4th place ahead of Picture Tomorrow. Just goes a little bit wide there through Spoon Curve, and so won't get the run on the way towards the chicane. because they'll be using their seconds up now, you'd imagine, quite quickly. We went on board with Keane not so long ago. As he was using the seconds, he was barely a third of the way through his seconds. To be honest, I think 200 seconds is quite a lot for a 25-lap race. I mean, that's 8 seconds per lap, which is quite a lot, really. I mean, there are some straight sections on this circuit, of course, but 8 seconds a lap is quite a lot to use, especially when you're not using it every single lap. And into towards turn 1, Chamorro using up some of his, but couldn't quite get through. No, he's just got 2 laps, including the one that just started to get up into 4th place.
Yeah, Moody just nearly did exactly the same thing again. He's got to be careful on that outside of turn 1. It seems once you start getting out that far, you can't quite tighten it up, bring that car back in again without jarring that back end. So he's got to be a little bit careful. And I think, well, definitely, as we've seen here with that curb, they do exactly the same thing as Carson Keane and the other one, and nothing happened.
Yeah, there must be something different they're doing. They won't have done exactly the same thing and just got away with it just because of pure luck. I feel they will have done something different, but it's not quite so obvious when we don't have all the telemetry. Something to work out. As that's a bit wide as well. You don't want to be up on that curve very much either. He's really sliding it around, isn't he, Moody? I guess that spin at turn 1 a lap or so ago won't have helped his tyre temperatures, which now will be spiralling out of control, and he'll be quite pleased. This race is ending in 1 lap's time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as we are on the final lap of the race now, the leader Gabriel's coming down through turn 1. Moody and Chamorro are not quite done here. I'll be interested to see how Chamorro thinks he's going to be able to get through. It doesn't look like he's quite close enough, but he's on that push to pass, and Moody can see that he's on it and goes to the left-hand side. Moody's just got to... Yeah. Chamorro, stop. Oh, gee whiz, I thought he was coming in there.
It's all okay, just, you know.
No, I got you.
That's the way up.
Yeah, I got you there, but it looked like he was coming in like an absolute rate of knots, didn't it?
Well, that was his last chance into turn 1. So if he believes that that's his only chance on the lap, then that was the last chance. So that might be why it was quite so close and why he put so much importance on it here, Victor Chamorro. But it's been a good drive from him. It's been a consistent drive. He's gained the most places tied with, the second most tied with Bronson Stafford and Matt Dinsmore, who also both gained 7. Greg Doucette has gained 8 to half his. That spoke far too soon. He's not going to gain his 8th place tomorrow as he spins on the exit of the hairpin, and he will finish in 5th place. But a nice consistent drive. He hasn't been off the road today, and that will end him with a top 5. But it's Gabriel Hopp who's going to take the race win. A consistent drive from him as well, but more impressively, he drove down the reigning champion. He passed him in towards turn number 1, and he didn't look back either. The opening round of the Super Formula Championship here at SR4S goes to Gabriel Hopp by 2 seconds. He weaves over the line. He knows how impressive that was. And here from Suzuka, who'll take the early championship lead after winning the opener here at Suzuka. Pablo Valenzuela finishes 2nd ahead of Jeff Croft. And the reigning champion knows that despite that podium finish, he's got some work to do if he wants to defend his title this season.
There is people coming out of this now and will be like, dude, man, I have got some work to do. Chris Sears will have work. Brian Long, Doucette, Christian Jasper, of course, 3rd place, I believe it was in last season's, second place in last season's championship. And opening race of the year, he's down in 9th.
Yeah, and Zaichu was 13th in this race, was 3rd, so it's not been a great start to the championship season for those that finished towards the top last time. Stafford and Dinsmore, by the way, are very close to each other. If Dinsmore can overtake Stafford into the final chicane here, then he will be the tied biggest mover with Greg Doucette at the end of the day. See if he can do this, as Brzezowski also gains on them. He's re-emerged from the pit lane as Brzezowski after that crash on the, was it Degner 2 or Spoon? I think it's... it was 130R, excuse me.
Yeah,
wasn't
130, yeah.
Anyway, out of the chicane they go. He's just going to run out of laps. It's going to be a disappointment for him, but he'll know that he's got some pace in the bag for this season. So not a terrible day, but unfortunately the result doesn't reflect the pace.
No, and I think that's just one of them things, isn't it? That today is not his day, but tomorrow might be his day. So, you know, who knows, or next week might be his day as well. So there's a lot coming, there's a lot to go, and I think this is, although there's markers laid down by the likes of Hope and Valenzuela, Groff's not going to get it all his own way. Carson Keen's got to lay off the mistakes. Chamora, Moody, this is going to be the season where people come out and really shine in this, and this is going to be absolutely amazing, I think, on this season.
Yeah, really looking forward to the rest of the season after this. It's Gabriel Hopp who takes the opening race win of the season ahead of Pablo Valenzuela, and the first North American in the field is third. Would you believe that? Jeff Groff finishes the first race on the podium, at least, ahead of Lucas Moody, who held off Victor tomorrow towards the end there as well. Chris Sears finished in 6th place, just inside half a minute of the race winner. Brian Long next in 7th, ahead of the biggest mover of the day, which was Greg Doucette in 8th. Christian Jasper and Bronson Stafford round out the top 10, but points go down to 25th, by the way, in this series, so everyone will score from here. Matt Dinsmore will get 11th, ahead of Frankie Brzezowski, who couldn't quite get there at the end of that race, didn't have enough time quite. Third in the championship last season, actually that's 13th to start this season, I'm afraid, ahead of Joshua Benjamin, who was the first driver one lap down. Nicholas Saranjas was one down, as well as Bryce Benton and William Love. Carson Keane never got out the pit lane after his crash, neither did Samuel Mart. Zachary Lindler and Matthew Rodriguez retired from very early on. Rodriguez only completing 6 of the 25 laps. We do have a few drivers waiting for us in the interview. I was about to say there's nobody waiting, but just had to scroll down. And they're there. So let's have a chat to winner, first of all, Gabriel Hopp, who can now join us. Welcome in, Gabriel. Good to have you with us. And congratulations on the opening round win, 2 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. How was that race for you overall?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, my heart. I felt like I was going to pass away in the end. Yeah, it was first time I won a race league. Pretty amazing.
Oh, absolutely. An amazing performance. I mean, tell us about the pass that you actually made for the lead ahead of Jeff Groff. I mean, he's, of course, the reigning champion of this series, clearly very quick as well. He took the fastest lap time in qualifying as well, but you were able to overtake him and then drive away from him. Talk to us about the pass and then those final laps at the end of the race, where I'm sure you were very nervous.
Yeah, so... I looked behind, and then Pablo was coming. I don't know where he started, but like he was overtaking everyone and coming for the win. So I didn't want to be behind Jeff, because you lose a lot of time in the corners here if you are following someone. So I used a lot of overtake in the middle of the race, so I could try to pass him, and then I had a chance there in the outside of T1, and yeah, I didn't want to risk, waiting for the end, and then Pablo gets to me and overtakes me. So yeah.
I mean, Pablo qualified 4th, by the way, but after the opening lap, he was 8th after the start of the race, so that's why he was coming through the field quite so much. But you held him off, and everyone else as well. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, so thank you so much. I want to give a shout out for my teammate Frank. He was having a very good race, and then he got I don't know what happened, but yeah, it's bad luck. Past season I finished like 3 races in the whole league. So yeah, I know what it is to spin, and I know it's just bad luck sometimes. But yeah, shout out to Anthony Zick, who did my lever and Frank's lever. It's a pretty awesome lever, and I'm happy to give the lever a win in the first round.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet you are. Congratulations on the race victory, and thanks for coming to chat to us as well.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thanks very much. Gabriel Hopp there, the race winner tonight here in the opening round of the Super Formula Championship for SR4S. Let's have a chat to those who were chasing him down. Now starting with Pablo Valenzuela, who also joins us. Pablo, welcome in. Good to have you with us. You qualified in 4th position, but you dropped down the field very quickly off the start, unfortunately. And then after that, it was just moving forward lap after lap for you. I mean, tell us about the start of the race, first of all. Was that maybe a lack of experience starting one of these cars? Because it's a standing start, which always does provide some interesting moments compared to a rolling start that you might get in other categories. And then talk to us about your drive through the field as well. How was that?
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's pretty nice to be here with all of the guys in the league. It was just, I think, a little bit of mistake from my side on the start. I thought I was on low revs, but anyways, when I lift the clutch, I just spin the tires like crazy, and I don't know, caught me kind of off guard. But just try to keep it clean, keep it down, and focus on the race. It's a long race, so trying not to have the incidents. I just get the grips of the setup, because I didn't know from before. I thought it was open setup, and I noticed it was fixed at last moment. But the setup was pretty great. It feels pretty good. Just a little bit tricky on the exit of Spoon, but all around feels pretty great. And the race was awesome. I mean, it was step by step going to the front, and the guys drive awesome too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to watch. I mean, how does this make you feel for the rest of the season now? There's still 7 rounds to go until the start of November, when we finish out at Interlagos, and plenty of racing to happen between now and then. But how does this performance and how does your drive today make you feel about the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think that the fixed setup is pretty even for everyone, so the margins of difference will be pretty low. So it's just try to be consistent, don't get involved in accidents, mistakes, and hope for the best result. All the guys over here have pretty good pace in this car, and it's going to be a thing of race by race.
It's going to be a fun season for sure. Pablo, congratulations on 2nd place. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, big shout out for all the guys in the team, Final Lab. We are starting a couple of GT championships now. So a big shout out for them, for my family, and all the guys that and all the community of this Super Formula. All the guys are pretty great.
Excellent. Congratulations on 2nd again, and thanks for chatting to us as well.
Okay, thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Pablo Valenzuela, their 2nd place today in the race in the opener, and 3rd place, Jeff Groff at the pole sitter today, but finishing on the bottom step of the podium. Jeff, welcome in. Good to have you with us. How do you feel after that one? Is that a podium gained for you, or does it feel like 2 positions lost? How are you feeling after that one?
You know, thanks for having me. I feel good. I mean, a podium's a podium, and you know, it's progression. And those guys, I mean, Pablo's 5,000 I rating, and Gabriel is super quick. So I don't feel bad at all. I mean, they raced fast, and I was just trying to keep up with them, and it was a fun race. It was everybody was super clean, and you know, it is what it is.
It was certainly fun to watch. I mean, how does this make you feel about the rest of the season? Because you are coming in, of course, with that target on your back of reigning champion, and that means that obviously everyone will be looking to beat you, and 2 drivers have done so far today. Is that a cause for concern for you? Is it a cause for excitement for the next 7 rounds? How are you feeling about the rest of the season now?
You know, I'm just looking to have consistent finishes. I always get a lot of DNFs during the season that kind of screw the rest of my season. So I'm just looking to kind of be top 5 and just be there for the end of the season. So I'm not really worried about it. It's race 1, but we'll figure it out. Hopefully we could get on the top step in a future race. That would be the goal.
There's a long way to go, that's for sure. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Sure. Yeah, my wife and kids, Destino Motorsport, Go Squadra. You guys for putting on a great broadcast every week, and the league. Love the SR4S. Good group of people.
Certainly is, and glad to have you back again for another season. Congratulations on third here tonight, and thanks for chatting to us as well.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jeff Groff. The final step of the podium here today for him. That's just about it from us here tonight. A good opening round to the season, James. I think it's fair to say. Gabriel Hop's first ever league race win, would you believe it? And it comes here in the SR4S Super Formula Championship. Somewhat hard to believe that someone would have a first league win at a stage such as this, but there you go. That's the case for Gabriel, who was clearly still had his heart beating out his chest at the end of the race. That's for sure. But congratulations to him, and I mean, a great start to the season for us as well. We got 7 great rounds to look forward to now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is going to deliver quite an interesting season now. It's so good to see that these cars this league has really grown to 21 cars on track. If they can keep that up, we are in for an absolute banger of a season. And yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And Gabriel Hop's first league win. Awesome stuff.
Absolutely is, and we know that Felipe Salvino is going to be here as well, hopefully as well. So we know that there's at least another driver who will be entering the fray. So yeah, looking good for another season of the SR4S Super Formula Championship, and it's a delight to be back on it again. It's been myself, Ewan, alongside James Parfitt for this opening round of the season. We'll be back again at Road America in 1 week's time. Now and then, make sure you subscribe to the JPB YouTube channel. There's plenty of other racing that goes on, of course. But for now, from myself and James, it's goodbye for now, and we'll see you at Road America.